I will use this log for the lift. It's curved, so probably I wouldn't be using it for the walls anyway. Also for now the logs are looking great. There are some little signs of mold on the first few logs, and that's because I cut those in the beginning or end of the October, so there was still sap and some sugars left in the wood. And then the logs that I started cutting in the November and until the end of December are looking really great. There's no sign of mold or anything. And also many of them already started cracking, which is a good sign that so far everything is fine with the logs. Also the weather is very dry and pretty warm for the winter. Even if they are really far from being dry, it takes years and years, but that's not a problem for the building. All you need to is expect more shrinkage and the walls will settle more than with the dry logs, but none of that limits the building. The ground underneath is still frozen. Very hard to take it apart. And here is one of the teeth that I broke on the excavator while digging for the foundation. Today is the hottest day of the year so far. Even the light breeze feels really warm. It's middle of February and it's more than 15 degrees. And we are also at quite a high elevation. It's almost around 900 meters here. I already saw a few butterflies this year, which is just crazy. Kdo?
Cijela smola.
Everything is ready for the lift off. This was the easy part so far, and now the really interesting stuff begins. I first had to build this triangle, so I attached the pulley up. It's around 6 meters high. That way I can pull more vertically. Otherwise, if I would be pulling straight from the tractor winch, I think would be almost impossible. I have no idea if it's gonna work, if I will be able to pull it up or what will happen. I hope I didn't spend all this time and effort for something that might not even work. There are pretty much just two options. Or it's gonna work, or it's gonna be a complete failure. I'm really hoping for it to work. I pretty much have no other options. Otherwise, I'm back to the start and thinking again what I can do and how I will be lifting logs up to the walls. There are a few things that I'm worried about, because there is just one log. As I'm lifting it, it could swing to either sides. I attach the rope and the pulley on both ends so I can tie it up and hopefully it will stay in the center. The other thing that I'm worried about is at the beginning there will be a lot of force also pushing in this block, and I hope it won't move and go out of the place. I'm not worried about this triangle with the pulley that would break or anything. The logs are really big and I think it's pretty strong. To lift this triangle up was pretty easy. On the first try I had problems just with those two logs. They slide out and then I cut the bottom of the log under an angle. So on the next try it pretty much dug itself in the ground and it went up without any problems. Then I just did a quick ladder so I have an easy access up to the top to attach the cable and the pulley. Another problem is that I am with the tractor on the other side of the hill, because that way I can pull straight in the line with how the lift is placed. I cannot see anything, so pretty much I will have to go to the tractor, pull just a tiny bit, then come here and check out if everything is okay, and then go back to the tractor and just I will have to keep going back and forth from the tractor and coming here to check if everything is okay. Once it goes above 45 degrees, I think from that point on it's gonna be much easier. The part that I'm worried about is the first 45 degrees. That's where the force on the winch and on all the ropes is gonna be the greatest. I really have no idea what will happen. I'm hoping for the best. I'm hoping nothing bad happens. It's also gonna be pretty dangerous. Also, when I lift it a bit off the ground, I will have to finish some things that I'm not able to do right now. And I have to finish everything before I completely lift it up. Because once it's gonna be up, I don't wanna be climbing up on the lift and doing something. I wanna lift it up and then have it finished. I was losing really a lot of sleep over this, thinking what could go wrong and just checking all the things that I cannot forget before lifting it up. And also I was researching different ways how I could lift the logs up before deciding to do this one. There is pretty much a lot of ways that could work, but I don't know, I decided for this one. There's a lot of risk, a lot of things that could go wrong, but there's no reward without the risk. And like I said before, there are just two options. Or it's gonna work, or it's gonna be a complete failure. And I'm about to find out pretty soon which one it's gonna be. This is the most exciting thing I've done on this project so far. I'm a bit scared, but I also feel my heart rate go up and I'm starting to feel the adrenaline. This is the biggest problem, that as I'm pulling from the tractor, I see absolutely nothing what is happening there with the lift and if it's going up or something broke. It's going up. I can't believe it. This is amazing. I think this is one of the craziest ideas that I've done. I've done some stupid things and some crazy stuff, but this one is up there as one of the craziest. I will actually even have to lower it down a bit again. That side there is just way too high that I can put the support beam. I have to put the support beam on this side and on that side of this log, like I did here, and that is just too much up. What worries me the most is if one of these side ropes would strap, and then I think the lift would just swing really fast to the side, because that cable from the tractor winch is pretty much impossible that it breaks. It can hold at least 10 tons, or I don't know, it can hold a lot. But these ropes, I have no idea how strong they are. There's not much of the force going to the side, but still you never know what to expect and what can happen. I can't even believe myself what I've built. Oh my god, this is crazy. I didn't expect it to be so big when I lift it up. It's just unbelievable. I'm almost at the point of tipping over to the other side, so now I need to attach the cables to the steel rods that I left in the foundation. It feels so good that I was able to lift it up pretty much without the problems so far. I'm just a bit amazed. Yesterday, after spending whole evening just thinking if it even has any sense that the lift is so big, I pretty much came to the conclusion that there is not much difference if the lift is this high or if I lower it by 2 meters. It's only better if the lift is lower, that way it's more stable and it's safer and easier for the rest of the work when I'll be lifting up the logs on the walls. I was thinking if it would be possible to use the lift also for the building of the roof, but pretty much the lift is in the way for the roof, and it means that I will not be able to build a roof with this lift. So when I'll be building the roof, I will have to come up with another way for lifting the logs. There's no other way than putting everything back down. I will cut the center log around 2 meters, that way the lift will be 2 meters lower than it is now, but I think it should go pretty fast. I have everything already set up, all the ropes and cables, so I just put it down, cut the log and then back up. If nothing goes wrong, this should be done pretty quick. I'm not having so much luck on the second try to lift it up. It started leaning too much to the right, and I will try to attach another cable to pull it to the other side. I'm still amazed by how smoothly it went up yesterday. Today I'm having way more problems. Yesterday I did it without any corrections, but that's pretty much because today I started with the main log way out of the center to the left, and after I started lifting it, it just kept going more and more out of the center, and now I'm having a lot of problems to take it back into the center. Luckily I have all these cables and pulleys ready so I can move it wherever I want. But yesterday it truly went up without any problems, and it was way bigger than how it is now. I'm really hoping I can get this butterfly on my hand. It would be the first time this year. Last year it happened many times. Almost for a moment. I'm trying to get it into the center, and I've spent already at least 5 or 6 hours. It's a very slow process because on one side I have to release the cables and I have to pull on the other side, and I need to do it very slowly, just a few centimeters on one side and pull on the other. Plus right now I need to rotate everything because the ends of the horizontal logs need to align with the corners, and I still need to twist it for around 90 degrees. I will need to remove 4 cables and pass them on the other side of the logs, because now these cables started to block the rotation. I still need to come from here to there. I left these ropes at the end of each log, so now I can just attach the screw and the weight will keep it down, and I will see perfectly where I am or to which side I need to move the lift so that it comes in line with the corners of the foundation. I'm not expecting it to be perfectly aligned with all 4 corners. Each log is a bit curved and twisted, so I will just be looking that it's roughly in line, and I'm pretty happy with that. But it was really important that I already prepared everything before lifting up the construction. Also leaving these ropes. It doesn't seem much, but if you have a rope at the end of each log, now I see really exactly where the logs are standing, because otherwise by the eye it's really hard to judge. I think I'll finish it here for today. I'm just really happy that it worked out as I envisioned it. Unfortunately, I had to lower it down and then putting it back up and making it a bit smaller. That took me an extra 2 days, but still it went way better than I expected, and really without much complications. It took me some time to find the center, and it was a lot of adjusting, releasing on one side and pulling on the other, and just really going by centimeters or even less at the time. And also this was for sure the most exciting part of the work that I've done on this project so far. I enjoyed it so much. It was really fun compared to the peeling and the rest of the work that I did until now. Also, I like a lot when I have to do something that involves a lot of problem solving and just thinking and coming up with the solutions. Especially when you're working alone, you have to come up with a lot of solutions how to do something, because you don't have another person to maybe hold a cable or look and tell you what is happening. But I like that a lot. For me, it's not a problem at all. I think I enjoy working the most when I have a big challenge and I'm not really sure how I will do it or if it's even gonna work. And a lot of times when I try to explain something like this to other people, they think that I'm crazy or they have no idea what I will build and how I will do it. But then at the end, somehow it not always, but a lot of times I'm able to transfer what I have in my mind then into real life, and it's really such a good feeling when you achieve and you do something that you are not really sure if it's even gonna be possible. The only thing that I regret not doing is leaving a hole there, maybe a meter deep, so that the center log would drop into the hole, and then I would just pack it around with the sand, and that will help a lot for the stability of the lift. But still, I think it's pretty stable, and in my opinion it won't go anywhere. I will do the test in the next video, and if all goes good, I will also start putting the logs on the walls. I'm really looking forward also to that part of the work. I think it will be really great seeing how the walls go up log by log, and I don't know, I'm expecting that I will need around 4 maybe 5 months to finish the walls if the weather is pretty good and I have no other bigger complications. But anyways, I will see that as it goes. For now, I'm just really happy that I've done this lift. And again, thank you for watching and all the comments, and also to everyone that in previous video helped me with the name of this threaded rod. It means so much seeing so many people trying to help me, even if it's just a simple question, but seeing the answers from all around the world and all the different names was really interesting. I went through all the comments, and I'm pretty sure I will never again forget the name of this thing. So yeah, if you enjoy watching what I'm doing and following my journey, it would mean a lot to me if you also subscribe to the channel, and that is just a small way of supporting what I'm doing. Everyone is already supporting me a lot by watching and sharing my videos and just everything else. That is greatly appreciated. I cannot say thanks enough. That's all for this video. I wish everyone that is watching a great day, and hopefully I'll be back in a week or two.